Guys, hopefully you're having a beautiful Wednesday because I'm tripping right now because I was talking and I had a whole thing on mute. Shame on me. Shame on me. But it's a new year. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. And I'm here for you. What better way to bring in a New Year's right than to spend it with me in the basement? Shout out to you guys for being here. You didn't have to. You could have been anywhere. You could have been somewhere still recuperating from bringing in 2024 to 2025. You could have been somewhere laid up drunk, trying to get sober, trying to dry up, trying to clean up, trying to get your New Year's resolution in. You could have been in the gym, focusing on your trainer right now, but instead you're here with me. Or if you are at the gym, on that treadmill, on that knowledge machine, out there putting up that work in. Hopefully you're listening to me. If you're driving, please don't be trying to watch me. I know my face is something to see, and it's gorgeous and it's handsome. That's the way the good Lord made me. But I need for you to just listen to the sound of my voice and focus on the road. Shout out to all you truck drivers around there in the nation. Without you guys, a lot of this shit wouldn't be happening. I'm just saying. Let me also say this. Congratulations to Lady Di and her husband James. I seen on IG that they are having a baby girl. They are bringing a new member to the family, and it's going to be a young lady. So shout out to them for having a baby girl. I know they've been trying hard to get one, but now the Lord has finally blessed them. Shout out to you guys and their new addition to your family. Guys, it's 2025. We here. The first day of 2025, and you were here in the basement with me. Well, guys, it's only fair for me to be talking about what happened a few Wednesdays ago. Now, last Wednesday, we didn't do it because we were celebrating a different holiday. So we didn't have a show. But the Wednesday before that, we didn't have a big show. We didn't have a lot of people. But for the few people that was there on the panel, I thought it was a great show. Very informative. Hopefully some of you guys got something out of it. But for those who didn't get to see it, you'll get to see it tonight because we're going to talk about it. Debriefing. Hump Day Shenanigans. We got to talk about it. It was some things on there being said that was in question. Matter of fact, I had some of the ladies trying to interrogate me. But you know, he don't mind. I'm going to help you ladies out. You know why? Because you may need the answers from a man instead of listening to your other tenderfoot since it's in your circle. Sometimes an answer from a man is only fitting. It's what's really going to put you over. And if it doesn't, shame on you. It means you ain't been listening long enough. But with that being said, I want to talk about it. The title of the show was, is it harder to find love or to keep it? Now, my answer was to keep it. Look, we know it's easy to find somebody for the most part, as long as you got your shit together. Let me say that. As long as you got your shit together, you can find somebody. The challenge is maintaining them. The challenging part is to keeping them, because we know in life is going to change as you get older, as you get more mature, as time passes. We know you maybe certain things about you change. You know, maybe your interests in certain things are not the same like it used to be. As some people say, I think TMI said, I outgrown. I graduated my marriage. I graduated from this relationship. Now, I think that's crazy as hell. But that's how some people think and move. She's not the only one. She's not the first, or she will be. She'll be the last one, unfortunately. But those are the type of situations people got to deal with. Happy New Year, Miss Amina. It's been a minute, but I'm glad to see you back. Hopefully, while you're here, you was able to hit that like button for a brother, right on? And if you haven't done it, please do so. Matter of fact, like and subscribe and share if you ain't already subscribed. You just watching from the clouds. And you ain't made the decision to subscribe. What you waiting on? A court order? Please don't make me send the sheriff your way. They hand out that court order, tell you need to be here, subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you find it in your heart to share, then do so. I would greatly appreciate that. I would greatly appreciate that. But for you guys who are here, I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy the show and enjoy what I have to say and share. With that being said, I want to go and get the party started. Let's get to what we're talking about. Hump Day Shenanigans. We debriefing that thing. We talking about that thing. It's got to be talked about tonight. So what not a better person to talk about it is one of the people who was on the show. Myself. So, Jay, I think broke it down real well. The title was, is it harder to find love or to keep it? Like I said before, I feel like it's harder to keep it. I really do. Because many factors, like I said, you can outgrow the situation. We heard a married woman say, I've graduated from my marriage. You know, like you get older, you get more mature, you see things differently. And with that growth you may have, the same person you married may not be the same person you thought it was. I don't know. So there's other ways, other things you got to find out what you like about that person, what interests you about that person. You're not going to continue to look the same. We're going to start to look different as we get older. You know what I'm saying? We might gain a little weight here and there when we get older. May gain a few more wrinkles or some more gray hairs. But are there other things about that person that you enjoy that makes them appealing to you, attractive to you? All of this are different things people go through and deal with. But we definitely have to talk about it. We definitely have to talk about it. And let's talk about some of the things that's being said in this video. Like I said, some of these ladies was grilling me. They was giving me the business, wanting to know what my interest was. Why did I like certain things that I like? And some of the things that my preference is archaic, old fashioned. She said back in the 60s. That's what my buddy Aisha said. I don't agree with her. But hey, she's entitled to her opinion. Who am I to try to make her feel bad about her opinion? We're going to see that in the video as well. But look, without any further ado, let's get to the footage. Let's see what's going on this beautiful Wednesday we had this show on. Let's go.
Yeah, y'all want to respond to something they said, that's cool, but we can just have a discussion. What's up, King Talk? Yeah. Bless. Here we go. Run this clip, y'all.
What is harder to find, maintaining a relationship or being in a relationship? Which one is harder?
Maintaining it. Yeah. It's really easy to find a relationship. It's not that hard if you want to be in one. I said I wanted to be in one. No, well, finding a good
relationship. It's hard for me to find a relationship.
Why? What do you want?
Huh?
What do you want? What makes it hard?
What makes it hard?
Your person.
The dating pool, as people say. I mean, it got pee in it. So I mean, like, it's hard to find a good mate that you vibe with, you get along with, and even as you go on through your relationship and the barriers start to fall, that y'all still, here with it. That's hard to find in my opinion.
I think that's what we're saying. Like, as hard as it is to even just find someone, maintaining it with that person.
I think once you find that, it should be easy to maintain it. I don't think a lot of people are finding that, and that's why it's hard to maintain.
That could be true.
Yeah. Are you keeping your options open? Because, like I said before we started here, I just looked at the person next to me and said, "What's
up?" But you were attracted to him.
Yeah, I mean, but I ain't know him from a can of paint. He's just sitting next to me. So I was like, all right. I mean, he was kind of really not my type. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go for the tradition, what I feel like is my type, or who I want to be standing next to me. I'm gonna go by vibes and feelings and how this person treats me. So it was like, all right, he's treating me good, so we're gonna keep going. And now we're maintaining it, like we are trying to figure out how to spend time together, how to date times, where are we at with sex and kids and all that. That is all the things that we're trying to maintain while still being individuals and having our own careers and aspirations and goals. So that's why it makes it hard to maintain it, because we only got 24 hours in a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm just the type where it's like, if I see somebody and that's who I feel like, that's what I want, it's like, that's what it's about to be. Like, this is who I have my eyes on, and that's what I want. And I don't know, I feel like the world always works out to where we end up crossing each other's paths.
He's like, not for me.
All right, let's go get into the first part. Is it harder to find or maintain a relationship, man? So, start with you first, Brady. Talk to us. Let's have a discussion, man. No pressure.
Got you. I think it's harder to find your person. For me, I feel like maintaining won't be so difficult this time around because I'm experienced. First time around, it wasn't really difficult, but I feel like I didn't have my person. I mean, it was challenging, but I feel like had I had my person, had we been more aligned and equally yoked in thoughts and beliefs and a lot of different things, it would have been easier. I think the hardest part is really finding that person. You can meet a lot of people all day long, but it's like finding that sweet spot, that, alignment is what's most challenging.
So finding that sweet spot. What is a sweet spot that you would be looking for?
Well, me in particular, I mean, because it varies per person, but that's a loaded that's a loaded answer. I want someone who I can be myself around. Are you wanting me to deep dive into all of this? Because I will. But
Yeah.
High level, I want someone I can partner with and someone who I'm compatible with. So like, there needs to be attraction. There needs to be some sort of physical attraction. That's not everything, because attraction, beauty fades, but there needs to be some type of attraction initially. We need to be able to have a conversation. We need to be able to laugh. We need to have fun. And then once you get beyond all that surface level stuff, we need to, I need that person to be spiritually grounded. I need to know that he lives his life according to a higher calling, a higher being. I need someone who's family oriented. I mean, the list goes on. I could keep going on and on. And like what I found is I'll meet a guy who has some of those qualities, right? And I guess you have to weigh the pros and the cons, but I haven't met a guy that has enough of what I'm looking for in order for me to be like, yeah, this is my person. Like, I found my person. So.
Okay, so when you say enough, like what would be enough out of that? You said attraction, somebody to laugh with, have fun with, spiritually grounded, family oriented. Like, what do you? I guess the question I should have probably asked is like, what are your deal breakers, right? And then you could probably easily name those. So then would everything else be like a non-negotiable?
Yeah, deal breakers are any sort of addiction. If he has like a dependence on alcohol or like drugs, if when he goes out, he's getting drunk all the time and he can't handle himself, or he's getting like, he's got to smoke all day, every day. If he does any type of drug beyond like weed, you know what I mean? So that's a deal breaker for me. What else is a deal breaker? His employment situation. I mean, I know we've had this conversation enough. We've had I'm sorry, kink. Anyway, he has to have it's not a certain dollar amount that he has to make, but he has to be employed, and there needs to be consistency in his employment track. So someone who's kind of like all over the place, working in a bunch of different fields and all of that is a red flag to me, because it's a potential sign of instability. So stability is really important. Like, I need someone, I'm going to put forth a certain amount of effort and energy when it comes to my professional life, my finances, and everything. I need someone who is not necessarily making the same amount of money, but has the same level of ambition and consistency. I don't want to have a liability on my hands. You know what I mean? Because once you get in a relationship, if this person has a track record of not being able to hold a job, or, they don't know what their career path is, then there are chances that that person might be unemployed. And now that you're in a marriage or some sort of commitment, now as the spouse, you have to kind of pick up that dead weight. And I don't want to put myself in that position. So that is a big deal breaker for me. And a man that has like multiple children's moms. I'm trying not to say baby mamas, but I can't deal with somebody that has multiple like moms in the picture. So,
Okay.
A lot of different personalities to have to coexist with.
All right, we'll go to you, Hinks. Is it harder to find or maintain a relationship?
For standing like myself, it's not hard to find. But as far as maintaining, it's going to take a little work, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing you both have to rely on and work in. Because you got to make sure once I find that right woman, make sure she has the work ethic that I need for her to have in order to make she stick with it. Don't run at the first sign of trouble or maybe a molehill or something like that. You know what I'm saying? We all know it's going to be some adversities. There's going to be some up and downs. We're not always going to agree. We're not always going to get along. You're not always going to love me, and I can accept that. But are you going to be willing to work? Are you really going to get to lunch pail in that hard hat and ready to put that work in every day like I need you to? So I think it's a lot harder to maintain.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Aisha.
I agree with him.
So, guys, when I shared that about maintaining and be able to maintain a relationship, in my opinion, I think it is a lot tougher to do that. It is. I'm looking at the comments, and I'm reading what my buddy Aminad said. She said, I can relate to what she's saying. The man I'm getting to know lives in another state and is currently in Paris visiting his brother. So it's really hard right now. Let me say this. My wife was living in another state when we was together. She lived all the way in Dallas, Texas. Was it hard? Yes, it was. Took a lot of discipline, a lot of patience, a lot of understanding. It took all those things. But eventually we came together. Now, one of the things was when I was courting her, when I was vetting her, one of those things that she had to do that I required her to do is to move here in order to get that engagement from me. That was one of my standards. That's one of my requirements. Did she try to convince me to move to Dallas? Yes, she did. I wasn't budging. But I did let her know if she does move here, she will get that engagement she's looking for. As a man of my word, I gave her exactly what she was looking for. So she knew. I knew her expectations was marriage. He knew my expectation was, I'm willing to marry you, but you need to be willing to move here. So we both got what we want. We both negotiated. We both compromised. She got what she wanted. She got the engagement to me. I got what I wanted. I got her to move here in order to get that engagement. It's give and take. It's not always one way. Certain sacrifices got to be made. Now, I knew another situation was that when she moved here and when we got married, we was going to have to get us a home. We wasn't going to stay in my current house. I knew that. She never had to say anything to me about that. That was already in the works. I wouldn't dare expect my new wife to live in the same home with my ex-wife. I wouldn't dare do some shit like that. To me, it's tacky, my opinion. Now, I'm sure she would understand if financially we couldn't afford to do such. I'm sure she will be understanding and willing to compromise because she's that type of person. But fortunately for her and I, that wasn't the case. So I blessed her with this new home. And we moved accordingly. But that's some of the restrictions and compromise and the things we had to do because of that. But getting her wasn't a problem. Maintaining it is to me a relationship. Maintaining a relationship is always going to be the challenge because y'all ladies change every day. Y'all go through some emotional stuff every day on a regular basis. 1 minute, you can't stand me. Next minute, I'm the greatest thing going. And so most time men don't normally change like that. We might go through a midlife crisis and all that good stuff, but it doesn't affect us to the point where, well, shit, I'm just going to wake up one day, hey, I'm leaving my old lady. The hell with her. I'm gone. That's normally not what we do as men. But man, look, it's good to see there's some people over been here for a long time. And I'm glad they're here. My man, Lonnie. Shout out to you, brother. It's been a minute. What's going on? I see my brother Nightish in the building. Shout out to that brother. Almond Eyes comes through. And hey, when she does come through, she usually drops some good comments and some very enlightening statements in the chat. And so I appreciate her. Thank you for coming through, Almond. We still supposed to hook up. Now I'm gonna hold you to it. You said you were gonna do it now. We're supposed to hook up and collaborate on some things. Let me know when you're ready. And we could definitely have that conversation. But she said something else. One of these things I definitely agree. You should have all that found out before you agree to be in a relationship, definitely before marriage. I agree with that. He told me that I would have to move to Georgia. So knowing that up front was so helpful. That makes sense. Now, Almond Eyes. The question is, are you willing to do that? Is Miss Almond Eyes ready to make that move, that power move? I don't know what state you stay in now. I don't know how long of a distance the relationship is, but are you willing to make that type of move in order to do that? Is this man worth? Let me say that. Is this man worth that move in order to make that type of commitment? I trust that your judgment is well. I'm sure you made and did the proper things you need to do to do your research and make sure everything's on the up and up with him. Make sure he's a man of his word. He's an upstanding type man. I'm sure you did. And if you have it, then I hope you do it. Don't go in there blind. Make sure you're aware of what's going on. Make sure he stands on what he says. Don't make a dry run. That wouldn't be good. But just go in there with your eyes open. Pay attention. Learn as much as you need to learn. Get all the intel you need to get before you move. And just move accordingly. Well, I said I was committed to my relationship with Hink. And Hink was consistent and purposefully pursuing me when I lived in Dallas. He is already talking about building a new house. Y'all think alike. Well, shout out to that brother. He must have been watching The Basement. And harmonize if he hasn't. Introduce him to The Basement. Sure. I'm sure he'll appreciate it later. My man Lonnie said, that's what it's all about. Communication. I'm glad to hear that, Lonnie. It's been a minute. Like I said, I miss you, brother. Glad you're back. She said, I'm in North Kakalaki. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You're just going down south just a couple of hours. That's it. That's all it is. Just a couple of hours down south. Then you. That's all it is. A couple more hours. That's all. A quick drive down south and further south, and you'll be fine. That's what I'm figuring out. I know that's right. Let me say this. I see some important things in this chat. Let me continue. We're gonna get back to the video, but some things are being said in the chat. This catching my eye. What she said, I haven't forgot about the collab. Just getting out of my 90-day probation at my new company and should be out of YouTube prison next week. I know that's right. Well, shout out to your new job. Shout out to your new job. Congratulations. And Miss Hink, I'm not making any moves yet, she said. We just getting a party started. Y'all, she said, the party just get started. I'm making the moves just yet. I haven't met his kids or family yet. Let me say this. Introducing a potential spouse to your family shouldn't be the most important priority. Focus on making sure everything with you guys up on the up and up. And I wouldn't introduce until we get to the point of talking about marriage. Because there's no need of you introducing him to his kids and things doesn't work out. Now, like I said, with the family, okay, you can probably introduce because they have a level of understanding. Kids don't understand. They just see this new woman who's not their mother is involved with my father. Okay, is this who he's trying to get with, trying to marry? And then they start to develop a relationship and things don't work. And that's tough on kids. Other adults, they kind of understand. Sometimes things don't work out. That's cool. But for kids, it's a little harder and more difficult to explain. So when y'all get to that point of where we actually talk about marriage, not just moving down there, but actually talking about marriage. Introduction to the kids that should be the next step. Now, I know you don't have any kids, so you don't have that on your side of the fence. But this man has to. That's what he's going to have to do, you know. And one of the things you got to make sure he does is prep them kids, right? Make sure he preps them kids to let them know this is the woman who I plan on being with for the rest of my life. And I need for you to show her the proper respect. Respect this woman like you respect me. I'm not saying this woman is your mother. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you need to respect her like I teach you to respect your teachers or anybody of authority over you, other adults. Respect her as such. And if there's signs of any disrespect, then me and you gonna have a conversation. Me and baby girl gonna have to have a conversation. Little man, look, we have to have a conversation. Please don't put me to that point where I have to have this conversation because I don't want to have it again. You're forewarned. You need to make sure he has that conversation. Ain't saying you got to witness it. Ain't saying you got to be there. If he's a man of his word, that's what he'll do. You'll trust what he says and he'll do it. But it's got to be, the conversation has to happen. Because if it don't, you come in there and all of a sudden, surprise, yeah, that's not a good thing. Because then in that conversation, you're going to get the man you're talking about is going to get the opportunity to hear their point of view, hear their opinions, and how they feel about daddy moving on. Even though he may be separated from his ex or his baby mama for 3 or 4 years, doesn't matter. These kids do have an opinion. These kids do have feelings. So you need to take their feelings into account and hear what they have to say. I had that conversation with my son. Me and him went to like a smoothie place. I forgot what it was. A Smoothie King. We went to Smoothie King and I had a conversation with him. And I told him, I said, look, here, you know, me and your mom ain't been together for this many years. We've been divorced since 2016. Try to get back with it. Things didn't work out, as you know. But daddy's ready to move on. Look, I'm ready to move on, and I'm sure your mom's ready to move on. So that may be a time where you may have this same conversation I'm having with you, with your mother. And she's presenting another man. Now, he's not your father. Just like my wife is not his mother. But she's somebody I love and I respect, and I'm going to be with. And I need for you to have a same level of respect that you have for me with her. That's the conversation I had to have. Now, my daughter, she wasn't a factor because she didn't live with me. She grown about doing the same business. Did I let her know? Yes. Now, I ain't been with her mother forever. But that wasn't a factor for her. I just had to let her know, hey, daddy moving on. You got a new woman, and I need for you to respect her like you respect me. And if you can't, that's going to be a problem. If you can't respect my new wife or my future wife, then you can't come to my home. Those are statements I had to have. Look, I had to even go so far as having a conversation with my aunt, man, about my wife is my wife. And last year for Christmas, she wasn't my wife at the time. She was my fiance. But my aunt wasn't okay with her coming to Christmas. She wasn't okay with that. Why? Because she had a relationship with my ex-wife. They had a friendship. Cool, I understand that. At the same time, this is my wife. If my wife can't come, I can't. I can't show up if my wife is not welcome. And that's the conversation I had last year. Well, guess what? This year, my wife and I went to dinner at my aunt's house for Christmas. She understood the message, but I had to let it be known. Doesn't matter. I know it's my family. I love my aunt. I love her to death. We'll do anything in the world for us. But at the same time, the tough conversation had to be had. It had to be had. So this man may have to have those tough conversations with not only his immediate family, which is his kids, but his extended family, and let it be known. This is what it is. This is what it's going to be. Now, you may not like it or agree with it, but please hold your tongue. Don't be disrespectful to her. Don't be treated some type of way because you have a relationship with the other one. Me and her are no longer together. That's a thing of the past. She's my present. Please accept it as such. Those are conversations that has to be had. Very important. Very important. Hold on. Kasim ain't getting no damn great advice. What'd he say? He probably didn't say nothing. He seemed to say nothing profound. Brother Kasim says, remain flexible but balanced when it comes to listen, in a healthy relationship, both sides compromise, although not necessary at the same time. Whatever, it was all right. It wasn't that harmonized. It wasn't that. Shout out to Brother Kasim for being here tonight, brother. I appreciate you coming through. She said okay, I already read this. Oh no, I didn't. That's what we are doing. That is exactly what he said. I have had that happen in the past. I still talk to the kids and I don't deal with them. She said, I don't want to meet them until I know I'm not going anywhere. Their mother is deceased. Okay. So that won't be an issue for you. Lord, bless the dead. Right, talk is cheap. Actions first. But don't meet family or kids if you aren't serious about the other person and vice versa, which is watch his action, harmonize first and have those deep talks. He said, great advice, Kasim. I will keep that in mind. The hell with Kasim. He ain't gonna be coming over and get no damn props. That's my dog. Hey, Kasim, it's safe over here, dog. Let me say this to thee. Go to hell, Kasim. But I shout out to Kasim for following the rules. If you're gonna take shots and hink, put it in the super chat. he said, for this crazy Negro butchering my comments, shame on your black ass. I know that's right. Shout out to Kasim for the $20 super chat. He didn't have to, but he chose to. And I appreciate the blessings. Thank you, sir. He said, Almanac, sometimes in a relationship, we give the other wives, and sometimes they give ours. I'm butchering your comment again. God damn. Let me say it again. Sometimes in a relationship, we give in to others' wives. Although I keep saying wives, others' wishes, and sometimes they give in to ours. Hey, that's why he had to say that super chat. Because like he said, I'm up here butchering his comment. God damn. I'm tripping. Kasim, I apologize for butchering your comment. But look, shout out to you, Amanas. I appreciate you for sharing. You didn't have to do that. So I appreciate you being vulnerable in that moment. And I hope the advice that you're getting tonight, either in the comments or from me, hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully it's beneficial to you. Hopefully you can take this conversation, these statements, these things are being shared with you, and you can apply it to what you're dealing with right now. But congratulations, from what I know of you, you seem like a upstanding young lady, man, and I'm happy for you that you was able to find somebody special and that you're building with them. So shout out to you for that. I'm sure this man is appreciative of you. He's a blessed man to have such a great woman. So shout out to you guys, and I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. When y'all about ready to do what you got to do, you let me know where you're registered. I will send you a toaster as a wedding gift. Not telling you that I'm regifting it because somebody else gave it to me. I'm just saying. Can't go wrong with a toaster. That's how I make my Pop-Tarts. Look, Pop-Tarts are okay in a microwave. I'm getting totally off subject now. Jesus Christ. Pop-Tarts are okay in a microwave, but the best way to have your Pop-Tart is in a toaster oven. Not only a toaster oven, but just a toaster period. But I take a toaster oven too. I do like a good toaster oven. The toaster oven could save you a lot of time. You might not want to fire up the stove, getting it all hot in the house during the summertime. You just put your little food and your chicken in the toaster oven or the air fryer. Either one will work. I'm just saying. Here we go. Shout out to Kasim for the $20 super chat. The brother didn't have to, he chose to, but I appreciate the blessing. He said, my comments are for us. He said, I'm for the slaughter. I'm cutting them up. I'm dicing them up. I'm out there, man, like I'm a Guy Fieri, just cutting up shit. Just ruining my man's comments. Shame on my black ass. Shame on me for butchering up my man Kasim's comments. Mama says, thanks, Hink. I'll send you the invite to the wedding. I know that's right. I know that's right. Shout out to you guys. And I'm praying it happens, and it happens soon. I know it will. It's only a matter of time. Let's keep going. To one of my biggest haters on YouTube, Big Ant 11 with the $10 super chat. He said, hell no. I'm not taking any advice from Hink. God damn. Shout out to Big Ant 11 for the $10 super. He didn't have to. He chose to. And I appreciate the blessings. Thank you, sir. Who the hell talk about that, taking no damn advice from me? Ain't nothing wrong with my damn advice, Big Ant 11. Shame on you. Let me get back to this video, man. I'm not going to let Big Ant 11... Damn, what is going on tonight? I can't even talk. See, it's your fault. Because you accuse me of butchering comments. I can't even speak clearly now. Man, I got to get it together. Y'all may probably think I'm drinking. Ain't nothing here but water. I promise you guys. It's all water. It's all I'm drinking. I don't drink no liquor. That's not my thing. Let me get back to this video, man. Y'all ain't gonna keep on letting y'all mess me up.
I think that it's easier to find someone in a relationship. And I think that it's because people change. And I think that once the romanticizing of that person we change our mind like every 3 years, right? And men have to be willing to like go through all of these ups and downs and transitions with us. And the same thing goes for men. Like men change, and so I think that the ability to maintain those lasting relationships is the hard part. And it's even harder in today's society because people think that you can just like move on to the next person. Like, oh, it's just people think it's just easy to move on. Nobody wants to put in the work. Nobody wants to stick around. And I think another problem, I think the headline was like, is it harder to find love?
Hold on, Kasim. What you trying to say, brother? What the hell is you? Hold on, Kasim. What is you trying to say? He said some of his points be on shaky legs. Jesus Christ. Am I gonna have to put you in the biggest hater category with my man Big at 11? I'm gonna say he got the results. So I'm listening. No, that's right. Shout out to Almanac for listening. I ain't paying you no mind, Kasim, if that was a shot at me. I ain't paying you no mind. The hell with you. Well, y'all crazy. I love it. I love it. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
I don't necessarily think that it's harder to find love. I think that people just don't want it. Like, and that's why. And they make up excuses to not be in love, or they make up excuses to not have these partnerships. I think that those things are easy to come by. You know, I just think that for me personally, I feel like I've already experienced the magnitude of love. Like, just to be honest. So, like, if I don't ever experience that again, I feel like I'll be okay. You know what I mean? So it's not so I don't feel the pressure. I feel like back in the day, women felt this pressure to be like in these relationships, stay, be wise. And now it's more about, you know, I think Hank would agree. We more about like how we feel and what's best for us. And I think that that's also a reason why a lot of people who have started when they're young and now back out there, it's like, I want a relationship, but I want somebody that's gonna have X, Y, Z, and I'm not putting up with ABC. So it's just easier to be like, I'm good until I find, like Brittany said, my person. And because I'm sure I could have been, you know, you can fall in love with anyone, huh, Brittany? Like you can literally fall in love with anybody. That is easy. But am I gonna want to actually be with this person for the rest of my life? Because time is ticking away.
Okay, so what are your top 4 things that a man must have? The top 4.
The top 4 is integrity is really big for me. You gotta have a job. You gotta have a job or a hustle or something. You know, you gotta be able to maintain. Um, Job, good credit is that's right up there at the top of the list. And I think you gotta just. I am learning as I get older. This is going to come out pretty bad, but I don't really want to engage with guys that didn't have no male role models or didn't have any men in their lives. Like they didn't have no fathers, no uncles, nobody to direct them on how to not even like a preacher at the church. Like they didn't have any male role models in their life growing up to teach them how to be men and how to be a family. So that's really been big on my mind lately. Like so, I feel like that is beginning to be one of my deal breakers because in relationships that causes a lot of issues. Because I want somebody that's gonna come to me already healed. I don't really want to. Yeah, I'm not going through that.
All right, go ahead, King, talk. Is it hard?
Let me say this real fast. That last part, what she said, shared and said, I agree with. One of the things I require when I was in the process of searching for a woman or a wife is that this woman had to have a father or a father figure in her life. Either her dad had to be alive, it could be a stepfather, or some type of male role model had to have some type of influence on her life. And if she didn't, I wasn't gonna get with her. See, if I heard a woman talk about, yeah, my father ain't been in my life, I don't know where he is. Yeah, ma'am, I'm good luck with that situation. I'm not the man for you. Because there's a lot of things that needs to be taught about having a level of appreciation for a man when a father's in your life. I wasn't willing. I wasn't even compromising on being with a woman who didn't have a father or father figure. That wasn't even a thought. I don't care how good she looks, or she fits a lot of them other qualities that I like and I'm looking for. That's one I cannot move on. I cannot. It's a certain level of respect that I have for a woman who had that, and then that she had for a man, period. Because she knows how to communicate with a man. She knows how a man talks, how a man acts, and how a man carries himself. A woman who didn't have that has no idea. They pretty much learn it on the fly. And me at my age, I ain't got time to be learning. And the age when I was a little younger, I didn't have the patience to deal with that. So it was a no-go for me. So that last part I agree with. Now, some of the other things she was a little shaky on. I'm gonna let her slide because that's her opinion. But we're gonna keep going. But before we keep going, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. My man J Dub, aka formerly known as Sheffield Woodland, he said, congratulations to your Penn State Nittany Lions. They won today. Congratulations, J Dub. He said, Happy New Year to y'all. My wife said, Almanax Hink is what he talks about and leads with intentions, purpose, and go get it. That's how he locked me in. Looks like black women don't know what's best for them. Yeah, some of them like it. Some of them like it. Notice how very few women mention accountability or selfishness. Or selflessness. I'm sorry. Coach Ferg, please forgive me. I've been butchering shit all day, as according to my big brother Kasim. Charge it to my mind and not my heart. Bros, if a woman wants to be if a woman wants to hyphenate your name, she is not for you. Damn. The hell with the women who wants to hyphenate your name. Hey man, I'm not gonna keep on giving you credit now. I gave you credit when it happened. I ain't gonna keep on doing it. We enjoyed it. She said you butchered my comment, but you ain't getting no super chat or cash app from me, Sir Hink. Damn. Well, as long as you pay me attention, and you don't have to pay me, but at least pay me attention. I'm just saying. Let's keep going.
Hard to find and maintain a relationship.
I would go harder to maintain a relationship because finding something isn't the same as finding the right something. Right? So you can find a relationship and it may not be the right one. Right? But to maintain a relationship, whether it's the wrong or right one, it takes a lot of work. It's like she had said, and some other people had mentioned, people change, right? And sometimes you could be in a relationship where one person doesn't change, and that's the problem, right? Like one person is motivated, they trying to do this, and the other person is complacent, they're comfortable where they're at, and their logic doesn't sync up with their alignment to where they want to live life, right? And they may already have kids before they find that out, right? So then you got a choice to make on how to live that. So maintaining it, to me, is harder. Like, if you're talking about finding the one, then yeah, of course, finding the one is hard. In general, like maintaining a relationship, being on the same page with somebody is probably definitely more difficult.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would say maintain as well. I think people can find somebody. I just think that they overcomplicate the looking process. So either a lot of people get eliminated and don't get the opportunity. I think that some people hop into relationships and they actually have a good person, but they don't know how to deal with it because of their past trauma or their past experiences. So they have guards up. They're in relationships in fear. They want total control of the outcome. And another reason why I say maintaining is because it's not about you anymore. It's about you and that person. And so if you are a selfish individual, now you have to consider that other person and their feelings, and which may alter how you respond to things. Or now you have to have a little bit more patience. Now you have to just be involved with somebody, and you don't have control over anything at that point. You could with the proper communication. If you guys have excellent communication, then you can still get a lot of the things that you want and a lot of outcomes that you would like to have. But it takes a lot of work in order to be able to maintain a relationship. And I don't even think people know how to maintain relationships out of a relationship, not out of relationships, but out of being like romantic. Like some people don't even know how to deal with other men or deal with other women or deal with coworkers, even dealing with their family. They struggle with just relationships in general. And I think that's something that you should pay attention to. It's like, how do they treat the people that surround them? Because it can kind of give you an idea of what type of person you may be getting involved with. If they're distant, it could be a possibility that they may be distant with you, or if they don't have a good relationship with their mothers or their fathers or their siblings, then it kind of can give you an idea because somebody has to be reasonable. Somebody has to be the initiator. And if that person is not initiating anything, they're just leaving it where it is, especially if you're grown, you well up into your 40s and your 50s, and you still say you don't have a relationship with that other person. It could be the other person, or it could be that person who you're with. Go ahead, mistake.
So let me say that shout out to JR for that advice. Normally when JR speaks, like I say, he doesn't speak a lot. Most of the time he's doing a great job narrating the show, keeping it flowing, keeping it controlling, maintaining the flow of the show. But whenever he does get the opportunity to speak, he's dropping some good gems, some great advice. You know what I'm saying? And so shout out to that brother for that, man. I love it when he's getting the opportunity to speak. And I know he talked about a couple years ago, he said he's going to start doing it more. And he's been a man of word. He's been doing it more. And shout out to the brother for doing it. Shout out to the brother for doing, it's like one of those things. You get like a good shooter, man. You got to pick your spots, right? You know what I'm saying? You can't go out there and shoot every shot. You get just because you open don't mean you should take every shot. And that's about what JR does. Just because of the opportunity to talk doesn't mean he always talk. He just picks his spots. And normally when the brother picks his spots, man, he's point on. He's spot on. So shout out to the brother for that. I agree with what he just said. Before we go any further, I gotta recognize my man J Dub super chat. He sent the $2.38 super chat. J Dub said a little New Year's money. I know that, right? Shout out to J Dub. He didn't have to, but he chose to, and I appreciate it. Thank you for the blessings. Right on. Our minds comes through said, I must admit, I have had issues with wanting to take control of the outcome. I have been working on that. Well, the most important thing is you said was you've been working on You acknowledge it, you recognize it, you realize what's happening. But you know what the most important thing that your man was going to appreciate? That you're working on it. And that's the key. Lady, in 2024, 2025, we know some of y'all can't cook. Some of y'all don't know how to get in the damn kitchen. Some of y'all know how to boil water. But you know what a man would appreciate, though? That at least you're trying. You on YouTube, looking on how to fry chicken. You know what I'm saying? How to cook a Thanksgiving dinner, how to make some dressing. You on there trying to find little recipes on Pinterest, on Google. You doing little things. A man will appreciate you for your efforts. That's all he's asking for, is you to try. Whatever it is. If it's something you know you need to correct, if it's something you know you need to fix, if you put forth the effort, that's all a man can ask for. You out there trying and you legitimately trying, you giving it your 120% effort, he appreciate that. I promise you he will. Now, if you're just going to be out there, I don't care what he think, he better just accept what I am. Well, no, that ain't going to work. I'm just being out. That ain't going to work. That ain't, the man don't want that. Just accept me for what I am. No. But if you out there trying, doing what you need to do, he will appreciate that. I promise you he will. I said, I just left the kitchen. Guess I should fix my plate. Everyone else has theirs. Right on. Make sure you break bread too. Don't sell yourself short, Almond Eyes. You deserve a good meal as well. And guys, do me a favor. If you haven't had the opportunity yet, please do me a solid. Hit the like button. Make sure you share and subscribe if you haven't done it already. All right, right on. I appreciate that. Let's keep going on the video.
Initially, I was gonna say, I think it's much harder to maintain a relationship until I heard the other guy's perspective of saying, is it that the relationship is harder to maintain because you didn't choose the right person to begin with, right? So that made me think about the fact that a lot of times what happens is if we question ourselves, are you the person you want to be with, right? So a lot of times we'll have like all of these requirements. Like I think you had asked Brittany, what is she looking for, right? And she named all of the things that she was looking for a man. Like, and I could go on, right? But I think a lot of times we have the ideal person of who we're looking for, what we want, that is so specific that it makes it more difficult to find that person. And then on top of that, all of the things that we say that we want in a person, we don't necessarily exhibit those same qualities that we're looking for. So you want somebody to be patient, but you may not be patient. And that's because you're looking for a person to fulfill a void or a lack on your end. So I know I might not be patient, but I need somebody to be patient, or I know, I want somebody to make 6 figures and you don't even make 6 figures. I want somebody that, that knows how to communicate, but you don't communicate effectively. So I think that those are the things that make it harder to, if you don't find the right person, if you're not exhibiting those qualities that you say that you want and need, that's going to make it harder to choose the right person, and then makes it extra harder to go ahead and maintain the relationship. So I think they overlap. I think they play on each other, but after hearing his perspective on it, I think it might be harder to find the person because you're not the person that you're looking for. You're not even the person that you're looking for.
Okay. A little bit more of this clip.
Now, I think for me, real quick,
Yes,
I think it's equally like finding is hard and then maintaining. But I would have to lean more towards maintaining because there's so much nuances to just a relationship. You know what I mean? That people are constantly evolving, people are changing. You have to learn how to adapt with them. I don't think we are taught enough about the nuances of relationship, how to adapt with somebody. Like people are changing, and I think that part is once you get past the surface level of relationship, then it goes into a deeper level. Now you got to worry about finances together. You got to worry about parenting styles. Like it's more than just like if we're compatible with each other. We can be in certain aspects, but then mentally we might constantly evolve. Like, I know women's bodies are constantly changing, their moods are constantly changing. I don't think men are made aware enough about women's different moods and emotional states, and just as men too, men can come off very simple, like we're very stoic or we don't show emotions, whatever the case is. But it's a lot that we deal with, and maybe that even could be a detriment to us as we come off so emotionless that women feel like maybe they don't have to, try to break in or try to figure out him, emotionally. And, that's leaving a void there because now he feels like, damn, I can't open up to anybody. Especially nowadays, it feels like women want men to open up, and then when they open up, now it becomes like you open up. Yeah, you open up too much. So now we're men are trying to find that balance of not being stoic, but then also being able to be vulnerable enough to open up to a woman. That's a hard task for men to do because that when you do open up to a woman, I think we've all been there. And that woman has used it against you. It's tough, like you know what I mean. So I would say it both of them is equal, man. But I would have to lean more towards maintaining a relationship.
All right, so he brought up something about people changing. I mean, I think we can all agree that when you first enter a relationship, 2 months later, it's slightly a little different, right? Slightly a little different. And then he talked about men sometimes being cautious to be vulnerable when they are dating. Do you think that is an issue, King Talk, as far as men being caught in between whether they should be stoic or be vulnerable with women?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think that it it unfortunately the solution is just be yourself and hope for the best. But no, I think it wasn't emphasized, it wasn't important before. So of course, if it's something that's more important now, you're kind of still in the rookie stages of figuring it out. You know what I mean? Like before, provide and protect was really about the ability to earn, bring home the groceries, or you giving her the bread to get the groceries. But regardless, making sure there was food on the table. And a lot of those things didn't require you being open and sharing your anxieties, angst, or whatever's qualms are going on with you, right? So I think a lot of people are in the rookie season of figuring out how to do it.
All right, what about you, Hank? Do you think guys are caught in between, whether to be stoic, or whether to be vulnerable when it comes to the early dating stage?
No, I think you definitely have to be. So you need to make sure you do a lot more listening than talking in the situation, because as a man, you're taking a bigger chance than the woman is. You have way more to lose in the situation than the woman. Because the woman gets the benefit of the doubt of a lot of the situation. So as a man, you're making a final decision, just like you got to take the ones, you also got to take the losses. So you're going to be at fault. And if you're not willing to accept all that, man, you want to definitely make sure you pay real close attention. And you can't do it when you're opening your mouth and you're talking too much. Allow that woman to share, express, tell on herself, confess, whatever you want to call it. Allow that stuff to happen so you can pay attention and hear what she says, whether they're good or bad. Then you just need to move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Whether you disagree with what she's saying or whether you agree with everything she's saying. You just need to make sure you pay close attention. Don't allow a lot of distractions to be going on around y'all. For that to happen, though. That's another thing, fellas, you got to make sure you're on point with. Because when you have too many distractions, then she gets a little discombobulated, then she's not focused. You don't tell her what you're going to get. Make sure it's not a lot of alcohol involved in the interrogation, period. You know what I'm saying? So she could be coherent and know what she's talking about. Because, you know, when you get a little liquor in the system, you gotta kind of take what she's saying with a grain of salt. Is that the alcohol talking, or is that just really her? So those are just a few things that I would do.
Ladies, let me ask y'all on the panel. Do you prefer a man to be kind of stoic for the most part, or do you want him to be vulnerable?
I prefer him to be vulnerable. That's just me because I am a communicator. So, like, when I date someone, you're gonna know how I feel. Times 10. Like, I'm a Cancer to the heart. So I am a feeler. So I prefer someone that's gonna be themselves and be vulnerable around me. I don't really like stoic. Like stoic, you're probably not gonna get a call back or a second.
I've often heard that women do like stoic. Well, not you, but a lot of women like stoic because they like the mystery. It's true.
No, I want to know all your business. I'm an HR manager. I probably already did like the background check anyway. But I'm just saying, I want to know everything.
That's true, Miss Brady.
I think a man needs to know how to read the situation at hand. It's a time and a place to be vulnerable and to be stoic. So it's neither one over the other. It's just about timing and being able to read the room or situation at hand.
Have you ever dated a soft guy?
What do you mean by soft?
Just not masculine. Just a little bit of just relaxed, you know, just agreeable to everything you say.
Oh no.
For the most part, I never dated a person like that.
No.
So it would be a problem.
Well, that doesn't really have anything to do with being vulnerable, though.
I just asking in general, just because I was thinking about sometimes when a guy is vulnerable, he's in touch with his emotions, and sometimes guys can be too emotional. You know, once you open up that door, as far as him being vulnerable, now he just wants to dump every single time he can.
Yeah, no, I think a man can be vulnerable and still be assertive and masculine and all of those other things that goes along with what I like. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a guy if he's more, sensitive and emotional, but I typically am attracted to men who have more of a voice and exemplify, the ability to lead and like express himself. And he's just not looking for me for the answers and the blueprint. He's going to be vocal and communicate as well.
Okay. Can't talk. I heard you laughing at Brittany.
No, it was. Yeah, I think it was just a choice of words. The wording was just yes. To answer your question, I don't remember which one of her statements it was, but she said it with such passion, and I just
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Taken.
I was gonna say, I think a lot of people misconstrue what stoicism is, or being stoic. Like a lot of times when you're talking about it, it's in the context of without emotion or without feeling, right? And that's not what it means at all. It's really more about being able to have emotional control. And then more along the lines of like, instead of being ruled by your feelings, not saying that you don't have any feelings, but knowing how to express your feelings in an appropriate manner, right? So I believe everybody should be stoic based on that. A lot of times, I know men complain that women are too emotional or overly emotional. And I think women need to learn to be stoic. We do need to learn how to be more in control of our emotions and provide more thoughtful responses when we are engaging in situations are that could be emotionally charged, right? So I do believe that everybody needs to be stoic. But again, like I said, I think we mix up what stoic looks like and only look at being so in control of your feelings that you don't even express them. I think that's what men are taught. And then women have a way of expecting that. And so when you do meet a guy who is very in touch with his emotions and he share them, they don't necessarily know how to take that because they've been conditioned to think that men don't do that.
So we often hear that women are representatives. You guys think men have?
So let me say this about what Mistaken shared. There's times where we agree that we agree that I agree with Mistaken. There's some times that I don't agree with Mistaken. And more so times I don't agree with Mistaken than I do agree with Mistaken. But on this conversation, what she just expressed, what she just shared, I agree. Women do need to learn how to be stoic at times when they probably should, especially during a conversation when the conversation gets, like she said, shared a little heated and emotional. But unfortunately, most of the women don't do that. Unfortunately, most of the women, they go in even further. You know, they be ready to slang at mud even more. That's just unfortunately that most women do. They don't practice stoicism, and they should. It would definitely come in handy, especially like she said, when you're dealing with a heated conversation, a conversation that you probably really need to walk away from or don't entertain. Unfortunately, some women can't help themselves. And then, especially when you having those type of conversations with individuals who doesn't belong to you, it's not your husband or your man. And some women are willing to, jump in a man's face who you don't know how he's going to respond. He can mess around, lay hands on you. But some women don't care. They willing to take that chance and deal with whatever the consequence comes. Now that's wild to me. That's crazy to me. But you got some individual who are like that, and that's sad. But it is what it is. Let's keep going.
Representative as well. Okay, go ahead, King. Talk. I see you nodding your head first.
I think that the average guy places a high priority on the art of the conquest, to put it eloquently, and will use whatever technique
Has the other person. I call it like the mask. Like when you go out, you present yourself one way to the world, and then you go home and you take the mask off. So to me, when you go out in the world, that is your representative, and you're not. A lot of times, people are not 100% authentic in who they are. Like when you're going to work, like we code switch. You know what I'm saying? We do all of those things. So absolutely, men are also do that, especially when they're in the dating scene. Both men and women put on a different character in an effort to attract, right? So I definitely think men, that men also have another representative. That's how they get the girl.
Anybody else? As far as on the men have representatives?
I agree, which is why while I'm dating, I take my time because I know it's only so long that a person can keep up that representation. It doesn't matter what a guy tells me up front and how good he's talking. Like I've learned to take my time because eventually you're going to see who this person truly is in all the ways. So I agree 100%.
I'm really the only guy that's gonna admit this. Like I gotta stop telling secrets. Like for real? Like guys always come in honest and true. Is that what we said we do it tonight? Come on.
I haven't spoke yet. Let me get Hank in. Hank, do you think men have a representative?
Yeah, we should. We lie to the hoes. The hoes don't deserve the goddamn truth. So that's a representative. Yeah, we don't tell a hoe a truth. We don't. What you gonna tell the truth to these chicks out there fast ass in LA? Well, why would you do that? But at the same time, women come to the table with a lie. Most of them anyway. When you wear all this makeup, that's a goddamn lie. When you wearing these ragged ass Spanx, that's a goddamn lie. When you wearing these wigs and these weeds. Let me say this before it goes all the way left. This is where the ladies are going to start to give me the business. They're going to interrogate me, asking all these questions. But I ain't got to say no more. Let's watch the footage. Y'all see what I'm talking about. Shame on you ladies. That's a goddamn lie. What about that says it's the truth? It's not real you. You showing me, you putting on your goddamn Tammy Faye Baker clown face. But you want me to trust every goddamn thing you have to say? No, you coming in lying off the jump. So now I know how to address you. I categorize you. I put you in a box. Yeah, this heifer's only good for 20 goddamn minutes. And she's lying off rip. She's not coming a true, authentic self. Go ahead and keep lying while I keep knocking your stanky ass down. I landed there.
It was just a matter of time before Hank woke up. There you go, Hank. There you are.
So Hank, let me I'm asking this question because I know it's a lot of gentlemen that you see on different podcasts and different shows. They speak on how they want a natural woman. So when it comes to the women you've dated, the women you married to, there's no makeup at all, like no weave at all.
No.
Just natural and bare face. I mean, like even on wedding day.
Oh, she had some lipstick on. But it wasn't, I mean, she didn't have that shit caked on. Look, I don't believe in that. Look, lip gloss and all that and lipstick, I'm cool with that. But when it's to the point, it just changes your whole exterior. I mean, I don't even know who you are any goddamn more. That's a problem. When you look like a damn bozo the clown to me, that's a problem.
Okay, so you're okay if it looks more natural. So they have the foundation, they have stuff on their face, and it looks natural. You're okay with it. If they have eyelashes, then it's natural. You're okay with it.
Hell no.
So
Hell
no lash.
no. What you? Hell no. That's wild to me. I can't go with that. I can't. Shout out to Hall and those. I can't go for that. No can do.
Okay.
I know some hurt feelings, because I know my
I mean, nobody's feelings are hurt because I believe that everybody has a type. Like you are literally entitled to have your type, right? You don't want somebody with the flyaway eyelashes, they eyes be closed. I get it. You don't want all of it. So I understand. But I also think that just like you always pick at Brittany's list, you have a list too, Hank. And this list that you have is back from 1962.
Nope.
Like, how many? I'm just saying. Like, you're basing, you telling men to base whether they choose a woman on if she wear makeup or not.
I didn't say
Legal
makeup.
and half by like 100%.
I said, if they did you not hear me give the example of Tammy Faye Baker? Do you know who Tammy Faye Baker is?
Let me just say, you just said they gotta have hair, no wigs. Can she wear braids?
As long as it's her hair.
Okay, so you're telling these men to base how they're choosing their woman on those standards?
No, I'm not telling another man if he should choose him or not. He's asking my opinion of what I like, what I prefer, and what I taught my son to prefer. Now, I can't tell King Kong white like that. You said what, man?
You raised the little links. Little male chauvinist.
Is that what we doing now? Now he's a male chauvinist. God damn. So let me say this. Just because I'm telling my son he doesn't have to accept a woman who's fake and has to take that shit off her head every goddamn night, look like that chick from I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. No, that's that bullshit. We're not doing that. We want a woman who's going
Nobody's going home doing that. Nobody's doing that every day.
Y'all are. That's the problem. Y'all are. We don't even recognize you efforts no goddamn. Some of y'all put out that goddamn makeup. Y'all are totally different. I done watched a woman go from a dark-skinned woman like King is to a light-skinned woman like Mistaken. That's fake. That is sickening. That's what we call self-hate to me. And I don't want a woman who hates herself. Yes, sir.
Now, we're not going to do the little jabs. We're going to stay on the level, all right? All right.
What are you talking about? I ain't
you
jab at you, brother.
said a dark-skinned woman, then you said like King. So I want you to be really clear with what you said.
I meant to say, my bad, little buddy. Calm down, brother. I meant to say a dark-skinned guy. Here you go. To cater to you, baby boy. A dark-skinned brother like King, and now all of a sudden she's looking as light as Mistaken. That's the problem, me. That's what I call self-hate. I don't want a woman who's insecure and has self-hate about herself that she changed her whole complexion. I don't want what Serena Williams did to herself. Skin bleaching. I don't want that shit. I want you to be you. Look, man, if you bald-headed, don't wear a wig, no bald, shave your shit. I'll put some baby oil on your goddamn head. I want you as natural, as real as possible. I don't want that fake shit. If you're going through
realize that it's not
that's what we gotta do. That's
what about
I'm okay with that. I'm telling you what I want.
What about what she wants? How she feel?
If she wants that, she won't be with him. That's what I'm telling you. I don't mess around.
In 2 years, your wife decides.
You used to the clown to waver. He doesn't waver. I stand on what I stand on. If my wife's in the chat right now, you look at her, she ain't got that fake shit on. don't play that shit.
Hey, can I ask you? Hey, let me ask you a quick question.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we talked about a relationship. Maintaining a relationship is harder than finding something.
So as you can see, I was still giving these ladies their respect by saying, yes, ma'am, being respectful, even though one of these ladies called me a misogynist and says I'm raising a little misogynist. You know, I didn't get off my square. I told y'all before, I'm not gonna argue with these women. What? They not on my level. They beneath me. What I look like fighting with a woman that doesn't belong to me? What I look like going to argue with a woman that doesn't belong to me? What they can say to me doesn't move me like that. You don't. So I just listen to them. Let them talk. Fellas, let them talk. Let them talk all the shit they want. You know what you do? Take yourself out of the equation. That'll kill them out because they want your attention. And once you take your attention away, they feel small. See what I'm talking about. Just do it. Let's keep going. My man J Dub said, it's a damn shame what Serena did to herself. I used to love her. Like comment. J Dub, I did too, man. I hated to see that. Beautiful black woman such as herself. And did that to her skin. Shame on her. Shame on her. Let's keep rolling. This is where it's going to go. This is where the interrogation starts. Now they try to criticize my preference.
Right? Part of the maintenance of a relationship, too, that has to be considered, which makes it difficult, is that people change, right? So my question to you is, you met your wife, like you said, it's natural. She showed up in the ways that you liked. What if 4 or 5 years down the line, let's say she's like, oh, I'm getting older. I'm seeing myself getting older. And she wants to maintain her youthful look. So she begins to start wearing makeup or wearing, hair or dyeing her hair because it's turning gray and all of those things. Is that a deal breaker for you if she decides to want to start wearing makeup or, doing her hair differently, like wearing braids or a wig or whatever?
Look, I don't have no problem with her wearing makeup as long as it's not to the point where it changes her completely. So she wears lipstick. If that's what you're asking me, yes, she wears lipstick. So that's not a problem.
So you're okay with makeup as long as it looks like a natural makeup. You're okay with a natural makeup look. Okay.
Yeah.
He don't like the drag queen. You know how the ladies that do the drag queen looking makeup, it's a lot, but
so
he doesn't want the contouring and highlighting and all the extra stuff. Just give him a little eyeliner, maybe,
Yes, that you're learning, Brittany.
I told you, Brittany, remember I said I got a 5-minute makeup routine. Remember I said 5 minutes.
I'm putting on this clip.
I would even say, starting a relationship. I don't think a lot of us look for what we really want. A lot of us settle for what we think we want or what somebody say we should want. You know what I mean? A lot of people say, oh, you should be with this person because, or you looking at somebody else's life and you see that they look happy and you just want that same kind of life. A lot of us, I'm not even going to speak on women. I'm going to just say a lot of men will just settle for a woman that will give them enough attention. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's sexual or, speaking to them, a lot of men would just settle with a woman that's just listening to them or hearing them out or following their directions because it's so uncommon for a lot of us. So.
I have a question. How do you guys start your relationship? How do you let your woman know that now this is the beginning of a long-term relationship?
That is tough because I rarely have asked a woman, like, do you want to be my girlfriend? I feel like I ain't do that since like high school or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? But I think after a while, enough talking, and that's probably me, just the lack of communication on my end, but it just feels like we have graduated to a state of where we just automatically know that we are locked in, like, you know what I mean? So
How do you know?
How do you know? That's what I'm saying. It's an assumption.
Do you have an intentional conversation?
Like, yeah, you're not.
Because for the
I think
ladies,
after a while, it is intentional because it
You're
just
having
comes
a
down because I never said it verbally. Then it gets to a point like, are we in a relationship, or it's just that sometimes it slipped. Like I was talking to somebody and then I was talking to somebody, they ended up calling me their man, and they had told it to like it was a close friend situation.
Were you her man?
Like we were talking for a minute, like you know what I mean. So when she gave me that title, I didn't push back.
Did you hear what she asked you though?
Huh?
Did you hear what she asked you?
Yeah, because
Are you her man?
Are you her man?
Her man, yes or no? Simple.
I would say yes, I was. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
The laugh and then the I would say is crazy.
because we were in that stage where we were getting to know each other. We already took those steps. You know what I mean? So it
But
was.
if she's saying that you are her man, why are you saying I would say that?
Because
is there a disconnect?
I'm saying I agree with her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
but it wasn't like, again, it wasn't something where I was like, yo, do you want to be my girl? Like,
Yeah.
it was just, she just ended up saying that, and then it was shared to me, and I was like, you know what, it makes sense. It just was never communicated. Like,
I guess like.
Ladies, do you prefer him to ask or to have that conversation and say, "You are now my girlfriend"? Will you be my girlfriend? Or make that very clear.
For me, if a man can't have that initial conversation, that shows where he is in his community, like his communication. If he can't have that conversation with me, I want you to be my girl, then how are we having harder conversations?
But I would find.
I had a couple interesting points, but it's a good question. Like, how do you establish the relationship? If the relationship is exclusive or not? How does that typically happen when it comes to dating?
You have to be clear. You have to communicate that and not make any assumptions. That goes on both parts. Because I have seen a situation unfold where, you can communicate with the person every day. You can have a great vibe or whatever you want to call it. That doesn't necessarily mean that you all are exclusive and that you now go together or whatever you want to call it. Just because you have a great connection and you're communicating daily and you're going out often, you have to explicitly say, I would like for us to be, in a relationship or, committed or monogamous or however you want to define it. I definitely think that both men and women make the mistake of assuming that that's your man or that's your woman. And that's a big no for me. Like, if I'm dating, I'm dating. You know what I mean? Just because we might talk often doesn't necessarily mean that you're my man,
Okay.
I was gonna say I concur. It needs to be explicitly stated, and the reason is because many times as women we get mixed signals by the way that the man's approach. Now I'll use myself as an example, but I know a lot of women can relate. Is before, like when me and my husband started, dealing with each other, even though initially he was like, I'm not ready to be in a relationship. He did say that initially to me, which I was like, okay, cool. But when someone that says that they don't want to be in a relationship, I expect the relationship to look a certain way. Like, we're not going to be spending a whole lot of time with each other. We're not going to be on the phone, for hours on end. We're not going to be, hanging out, like all of the things that you would do in a relationship. So it got to a point that I started thinking, because we were doing those things like daily almost, that okay, we've upgraded. You know, like nothing was said. I just assumed, like, because that's the direction that we headed. We weren't hanging out every day initially, but now we're hanging out all the time. I'm at his spot. He comes over to visit me. We, doing the thing, also in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, we've transitioned into a relationship. And then later on down the line, for him, it was, well, I told you we were never in a relationship. So I couldn't blame him because, yes, he was honest and he told me, but his actions to me made me feel very different. So explicit communication in regards to it, on my end, I should have said, so what are we doing? Right? I needed clarification because truth be told, he told me from the beginning he wasn't ready for a relationship. But in my mind, that changed. So it's important that you get explicit information. If you feel like something changed, then you need to bring up the conversation again and just say, I'm feeling like things are kind of shifting. Are we exclusive? You know what I'm saying? So then that way we're still on the same direction. But when he was ready to settle down, he was explicit and intentional. Like, I'm ready to be exclusive. If you seeing anybody, you need to tell that, that's it. Like that was that whole thing. Like he was ready at that point and he made it known. So I didn't have to question.
I'll just share. You brought up a good point. Oh, go ahead, Hank.
No, go ahead, man. You start.
I'll just say you brought up a really good point, Ms. Taken. I think that oftentimes people are not they don't really think about their actions. So if you're spending a lot of time together and you're the one who's like, I'm not ready for a relationship, like I'm not ready to be exclusive, I think it is important for you to kind of assess the situation and fall back some. Because I've made the mistake before of having those long conversations, finding times to connect when I had no intentions of taking things to another level anytime soon. So I had to pull back when I realized that person was actually starting to develop deeper feelings and having different expectations. But I think most people don't do that, especially if the other person is, I guess, just kind of going with the flow. It really is about being the mature and sort of responsible person to say, let me fall back some because I see where you're going and I'm not there. I'm not headed in that direction. So it's good that you all were able to navigate that. It can ruin a lot of friendships that are building, I think, when people are not clear.
I don't know. I feel like Brittany's having a flashback right now. I hope you're all right, Brittany. I hope you're all right.
No, this was a while. I'm good.
Well, my condolences. Let me say this. Most of the times we have to, women need to communicate better with that situation and let it be known. Again, as a man, we're gonna ride as long as we can. And if you don't let it be known what the expectation is for this relationship, you won't. But you also got to make sure that you hear that man say, "Oh, we're official." Because if not, you may think y'all are. You may be moving like you are. For me as a man, I'm moving like a single man should. That's what I am. Until we have established that and let it be known, a man's gonna keep moving like he's supposed to be moving. I heard enjoying life, doing this thing, moving on. You may be out there collecting bodies. I mean, I don't know. Until you let it be known, this is what it is. I want us to be together. And that's how it goes. And then make sure, again, like I said, make sure he's he's on the same boat. He doesn't explain himself, yeah, this is what I want. Or if he says some bullshit as, yeah, I think so too. No, I think so is not the answer you need to be looking for, ladies. You need to hear him say, yes, it's me and you.
Okay, so from what I'm hearing from you, Hank, is that you kind of started off saying that a woman has to let the man know, but you're also saying that if a man sees a good woman, that he will let her know.
Yes, he will confirm it.
If I had to give my opinion on it, I think it all depends on mindset. You know, sometimes age can be like a factor as well, depending on where that person is. You got somebody maybe in their 40s and 50s, like they may be less likely to want to play around. I'm not saying there's some that's out there because they do got some that do play around and still just want to be single for the rest of their lives. But there are some men that have no problem telling you exactly what it is they're looking for. And if you're not that person, then they'll just keep moving until they find it. So I think both people need to pay attention to certain signs. It should be clear. I mean, communication should be clear. I think the older that I've gotten, I started to really realize being direct to say what it is that you're looking for. And you can take all the time you need to see if that person fits. You don't have to rush and give and say, hey, you're that person. You can just say, this is what I'm looking for. And I think action do speak louder. If you're that person that fitted, then he's going to show it, or you're going to see some type of sign. And then vice versa, too. I think some men stay idle too long in relationships. They're not getting the signals that they know that they should be getting. And so that's when they find themselves just, the relationship not going nowhere. It's because they've just been spending too much time and they haven't been receiving what they attempted to give.
Yeah, but it depends on, like you said, what you're looking for. Now, if you're talking about marriage, ladies, y'all better let it be known you want to be married. I said it before. You better let it be known you want to be married. We can play house all day, every day. And we'll keep you stringing along and play it up. We might throw a little hint out there every once in a while. If you don't let it be known you want to be married, then you can't be mad at man 5, 6 years down the road talking about, well, I want to get married. Man, you didn't say shit for 5+ years. Now said you want to get married? I'm good with what we got going on. What's wrong with what we got?
So, hey, quick question. If a woman lets a man know, make it known that she wants to be married, should she also provide a timeline in which she expects or
Yes.
or not? Okay.
No. You have to. Because one thing you got to make sure you do. If he doesn't, you hold him to that, then you need to walk. And you got to be willing to make that walk. You got to stand on what you say. You can't waver. You have to stand on what you say, ladies. If you say, within 2 years, I would like to be married. That 2-year date come up and there's no ring on your finger. Yeah, you need to be ready to walk. Because if not, he's going to keep you strung along. Like I said, he's going to tell you just enough to keep you going along. Yeah, it's going to happen. I need to get my money up. Or I need to, I want us to have a big wedding. So I want to save some more money so we can pay this big lavish wedding. That's not what he's doing. That's not even what he's thinking about. Paul, we know if he was to do it, he said, man, just take me to the courthouse. We can have it in a friend's backyard. But he's going to tell you, I'm trying to save money to get a big wedding, just to keep you, string you along. You have to put, you have to put a date on the stake. You have to, because if you don't, that's what's going to happen to you. You can't be mad because you didn't require it. Not for real. You threw it out there, but you didn't hold him to it. You didn't hold his feet to the fire.
Yeah. You about to say something, King?
Let me say this before I shut it down for tonight, at least for right now. That conversation that we was having, that's serious. That's real. That's what you should do, ladies. If you are engaged with a man or are engaging or having a conversation with a man or talking to a man, And you need to let it be known early in the relationship, you know, your long-term goal. Whatever your long-term goal is, talk about it. Share it with him. See if y'all can be on the same page. Maybe he can help encourage you and uplift you and help you accomplish a goal. But marriage, that should be your short-term goal. You know, short-term goals usually about 1 to 2 years. You know, your long-term goal more about the 5-year plan. But your short-term goal should be marriage, and that's what you want. Now, if that's not what you want, don't even have the conversation. You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't gonna bring it up. You ain't gonna bring it up. We cool. But if that's what you want, marriage is what you want. Marriage is how you see yourself in a few years. You want to be Mrs. Such and such. And let it be known that's what you want to be. Let it be known that you know you would like to be married, have kids, build a family, create a family. You have to let that be known. Sooner you let them know, the better you can know about if he's really the person, if he's really the man for you. Because if he doesn't want to get married, you don't need to continue to move on with him. Because what most likely you're not going to do is try to convince him or change him or mold him or push him into doing something that it's not even a work for him, not even in the plan. Whether it's because he's seen a lot of situations turn into bad marriages, or he was in a marriage before, he don't want to get married again, or it's just something he never thought about or even think about doing. If he has that right mindset, you wasted your time. Especially if you want to get married. Because if you want to get married and that's truly what you want to do, ain't too much you can say to try to convince this man or move, man. More than likely. I'm not gonna say it won't ever happen. But the odds of it happening, slim to none. The odds of that happen is slim to none. So, ladies, find out as soon as possible before your feelings get into it. Before you get any more time and money invested into the situation. Find out, is marriage part of his future? Is marriage part of his short-term plan? And if it is, move accordingly. If it's not, move accordingly as well. And accept whatever his answer is. And go from there. Even if it's not for you, him. Now you got to ask yourself, do I want to continue to pursue this man even though he doesn't want to get married? Or do I want to chalk it up as a loss and move on? Ladies, only you can answer that question. Only you know what you willing to put up with, what you want to accept, and what you want. At the end of the day, that's your life. You see other people around you getting married, don't get mad. Try to convince and con or trick this man into doing it. It may not work either. These young cats don't see the value in marriage. Not like we used to. They don't see the value in it anymore. So to try to think you're going to be able to convince him into doing it, yeah, that's not going to work. Not these young cats. Like I said, they already have a hard time with the concept of that because most of them have never seen a successful one. Most people hasn't seen a successful marriage. They see the worst of marriage. And so if that's all they see in their life, what makes you think they're going to invest into something that they know is going to be a failure? If that's all they see in their life, what makes you think they're going to look to do something and want to fall in the same fate as their parents did and their parents' parent did? You're not going to do that. They rather playhouse than be a home. Let me say it again. They rather play house than build a home. That's what they rather do. Because they're gonna say, well, is it worth it? At the end of the day, that is it worth it? In their minds, it's not. In their mind, it's not. So with that being said, guys, look here. Another beautiful Wednesday show. Debriefing Hump Day Shenanigans. I had fun. Let's do it again. Let's do it again next week. Now, next week probably won't have a show because we didn't have a show today. But you know your boy gonna come up with something. We're gonna talk about something on next Wednesday. Please believe that. With that being said, I will be heading over to Real Pressure. I ain't been over in a while. I may even simul stream over here. So y'all be looking out for that, guys. Be looking out for that. I may be doing, you know what I'm saying? Depends on if the option's up. If I do it, make sure y'all tap in. With that said, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. And once again, I want to say Happy New Year to every last one of you. And for all you who's going to watch this on the playback, the replay, Happy New Year to you guys. I hope you had a great one. Hope you celebrated. I hope you did it safe and sound and was safe with your celebration. I hope you didn't go out here and get yourself in a situation you couldn't get out of. But with that being said, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you share and subscribe. Make sure you continue to rock with me because I will continue to be putting out more and more great content. My man J-Dub, right on to you. Again, congratulations to your sorry ass Penn State. Get the lines. With that being said, hey, y'all have a good night, man, and I'll see you on the next one. Right on.